I'm now joined by Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Suzanne. Thank you so much for being with us every Friday. We love talking to you.
Good morning.
So you are literally just coming back from the Cup of Connections event that was this morning from 8 to 9 a.m. Tell us about this event, who showed up, and what some of the biggest takeaways were.
Well, it's great because the second Friday of every month, we have a Cup of Connections where we visit a local business. So it's an opportunity for the business to showcase, what they're about. And we had a wonderful turnout. We had some new people and, for example, Open Door Outreach, which is a great local food pantry, was there, and they do a lot for our community. So we were really excited to, get people to know one another. We had attorneys, we had real estate agents. So it's just a really great opportunity to network and to, meet with other businesses, because we know that certain businesses like health and money are trust issues. So it's really important to get out in person. All the advertising in the world, all the promos, all the social media is very difficult to connect with someone when you're dealing with health or money.
Definitely. Are these events open to everyone or only to chamber members? How can people get involved?
Well, typically it's a chamber member event, but we allow non-chamber members a one-time opportunity to, come to these events for $10 to see what we're about. And hopefully they'll decide to either join the chamber or they'll realize that this is a great networking thing that we offer, and that maybe they will consider, learning more about us, because certainly it's a one-on-one kind of interaction that really no amount of social media is going to replace.
Definitely. Nothing will ever replace that face-to-face interaction. And I think that's so hard in today's world because, as we've talked about before, we don't see that as much as we used to. Even now, I know a couple years ago, we used to have you in our studio doing interviews. And of course, there's pros and cons to Zoom interviews, but it is nice to have that face-to-face interaction in any situation. So it's definitely great that you guys give people the opportunity to get out there, have a cup of coffee, and connect with each other face to face. Now, backtracking a little bit, this past Tuesday, you had an event making sense of online marketing. So talking a little more about online. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, we are very fortunate because our president, Vito Kukuru, he's not only a great chamber member, but he is also Consult Vito, which is a marketing firm, social media marketing, and he's always giving free Google classes. So these are classes that Google actually helped him market, and he teaches about, you think about email marketing, and sometimes your title is too long. Sometimes the information is kind of boring. So he's trying to help people figure out what's the best way to get across what your business is about, how you want to connect with people. And it's been very, very successful. He had, I think, over 60 people attend his virtual Google class, and he teaches 2 a month. So he's just a really great resource for learning how to make sure that your social media footprint is accurate, present, and a good reflection of your business.
And with that making sense of online marketing, does this relate to the event you have coming up on August 30th that is the basics of Google Ads?
Yes, there's always some sort of common thread or theme. And, how do you know what to invest in? Should you give money to Facebook? Should you give money to Google? I notice even when I Google something, I don't necessarily come up with that thing right away. It may take me 10 different, kind of scroll downs to get to the information I want. So there is a way to make sure that you get to the top of a Google, listing. So he teaches all of that. It's just a really great free resource that the chamber offers for everyone. You don't have to be a chamber member to avail yourself of these resources.
Yeah. Now, can you give us a little teaser if people are interested in attending the event, maybe just from your experience? Do you know one piece of advice you could give for people on Google Ads just from getting to sit in and hear this advice?
I think one of the great pieces of advice is really have as many people as go to your website and click on it, because the more people that you get to come it seems to move yourself up to the top of the list. I know that I get calls from people that have nothing to do with the chamber. But for some reason, because we have so many people visiting our website, and thanks to all of the times I'm interviewed on Civic Center TV, The Splash, we've moved up kind of to the top of the list. So I think that's one bit of advice, is just try to get as many people to visit your website so that you do move up the top of the list.
Yeah, and another thing I do want to talk about, like you said, you've interviewed with us so many times, and we appreciate having you on so much. But one thing people don't know is that Suzanne is also in the process of helping us get other people on our show. She's always sending us leads of new chamber members, and a lot of the people we talk to, come from Suzanne, and that just it goes to show how much she cares about her chamber members and how involved she is. So on that note, are there any new chamber members that you could tell us about that maybe we don't know about and haven't had the chance to talk to yet?
Yes, there's that great Greek restaurant that just opened. In fact, I'm really excited to try them out. I've heard fabulous reviews about them. And they are very smart because they're having people that went there post things on Facebook and LinkedIn about the great experience they had. And that's, something that people should think about. If you have loyal customers, you should definitely have them do testimonials for you. There's nothing like getting a recommendation from another person as opposed to just placing an ad or sending out a flyer or a discount coupon, because we know that those kind of personal recommendations, especially when it comes to restaurants, to doctors, to rehab facilities, to assisted living, to home health care workers, that means a lot. So that's another one, the Dry Eye Healing Institute. A lot of people suffer from dry eye, not necessarily just seniors, and this optometrist totally specializes in that, and she's fabulous, Dr. Jennifer Shaba. So there's a lot of new businesses. I hope to send them your way, and I hope that you'll be able to interview them because they can tell you a lot more about their business than I can. But I think that we're excited because we do see some vibrancy in our city, and we welcome new businesses because we know that the backbone of any community is the business community.
It's funny you mentioned the Great Greek Grill. I had no idea that they were a chamber member. I know the location just opened up on Orchard Lake Road, and without making this too much of a promo for them, we actually have one just down the street from our Troy studios, so I go there for lunch all the time, and I can say it is absolutely delicious. I was just there on Tuesday, I believe, for lunch, and I'm very glad that there's one in West Bloomfield now. And I also want to touch on your point about just having customers share their experience on social media or something, whether it be a restaurant or any other type of business, because in today's world with social influence and social media, we're always seeing celebrities and people with huge followings posting about food, clothing brands, whatever it may be. But I think there's something to be said about just your everyday person that might not be a celebrity or have a huge following showing off to people in their community, hey, I actually went to this place and it was delicious, because sometimes I think that can be so much more impactful than someone who has a huge following, because you really trust the people that you know in your community, and you know, hey, they actually went to a place and ate the food or had the services or something like that. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think that's super important to touch on, especially in our community with the people we talk about. It's a small, very well-connected community we have in Greater West Bloomfield, and I think it's very important to have people that we can trust and look for advice on different places.
I know I've told, especially during the pandemic, I was telling our small businesses if they could put some of their merchandise in an Instagram or have, wear it and, let people know what they have. And that would be another great way, is to have a customer, show something that they bought and put it on Instagram. These little things, you're planting seeds. You don't get a forest overnight, but the more that people see a positive image of your restaurant, of your store, of a medical office, of a med spa, this is really influential, and they don't realize how much impact they could have if they have like a happy, loyal customer that would do that for them. It costs them nothing, and it could pay great dividends in the future.
The impact is huge, no doubt. And just a couple more minutes with you this morning, Suzanne. The leadership breakfast is getting closer and closer. I know this is something you're very excited about. Just over a month away on September 13th. It's what, the 12th today? Wow. So yeah, really just over a month. Remind us again just what the leadership breakfast is, who's going to be there, and how people can get involved.
Well, the leadership breakfast, it used to be a luncheon, but we transitioned to breakfast because of COVID, and the prices of food, unfortunately, have gone up tremendously. So this is one of our signature events where we bring in great speakers. We've had people, everyone from the head of Shinola, Bedrock, Olympia Entertainment. Last year we had Casey Crane of Crane Communications. So this year we have the Vice President of Rocket Community Fund and Gilbert Family Foundation, Laura Graneman. She's a very dynamic speaker. And she will talk about the connection between, keeping the people in Detroit kind of digitally connected with safe housing, and how it impacts and reverberates into our cities, because we know there are people from our suburbs that work there and vice versa. And a vibrant city definitely has a great positive impact on the suburbs. And so we have our friend group Raj, who's always happy to oblige us as the MC. It's a great event at Wabi Country Club. It's $45 for members and $55 for non-members, and they can go to westbloomfieldchamber.com and register. September 6th is the last day to do so. We have swag bags we give away. It's a really fun event, and it's a great way for local businesses to kind of rub elbows with people that they might not be able to get an opportunity to do so, because we have a lot of community leaders that will be there. And I encourage everyone to at least look into it or send their employees, because you never know who you might meet, and especially bring business cards that might be able to be a customer, a client, some sort of future resource for your organization.
Great. We look forward to that. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for joining us this morning. Have a great weekend, and we will be in touch with you, or we will talk to you next week.
Well, thank you again, and you have a wonderful weekend as well.
Thank you.